everybody, and welcome back to my Dino Crisis Let's Play. So I'm still en route to the control room. That's kind of Rick's safe room, if you will, kind of his work room. And because I have an ID card that I can use to access the elevator that's on the other side of the room. So I should be able to see something new here. So let's take a look. So I kind of started to take a sneak peek at Dino Crisis 2, not playing it, but just kind of looking at just a quick let's play of it, and I only saw the first kind of 10 or so minutes of it, and it really looks very different from this game. It kind of has this like combo system where you have to string together kills. So I'm definitely going to use this box because I'm in dire need of ammo. So just gonna do a quick kind of inventory cleanup and take it from there. So I don't know, like they introduce a new character at the risk of going very far ahead. I do want to do a let's play of that game because from what I hear, the vast majority of people say that the game's very good, the second game. So I definitely want to check it out and see what all the praise is about. I mean, it's not to say that I don't like the combo system, it's just that it looks a little different. So it'll be interesting to see what elements, but like I said, I only saw about 5 or 10 minutes of gameplay footage, but then so after that time I said, you know what, I probably shouldn't spoil too much for myself and kind of play the game essentially blind. And that might make that my first blind let's play in this. There's a few blind let's plays that I want to do. Partly want to do them and partly no. It's kind of like logistics issues, you know, that are causing me to hesitate. But the appeal of it, I can see. Alright. Following antenna activation key for emergency use only. Great, I can actually pick up the antenna key and do something with this. I figured there was something I needed to do over here, but I just didn't know. Due to the experiment. Okay. A list of frequencies pertaining to radio. I guess I don't need to read that. I always love that about survival horror games, that the character, whoever you're playing as, even though they really don't know what's going on, or they may have some idea about what's going on, they can easily tell right away what is useful in terms of a file or even an item versus what's not useful. Will you save my progress? Well, that tells me that something's gonna happen, so I better save. So I'm gonna go ahead and save, even though I wasn't too far away from my previous save. You never know what's gonna happen, so better to be safe than sorry. I'm not exactly going for an A rank at this point. Alright, so we're gonna go to this room. I believe, well, this is the communication antenna room, so I believe my instincts are right. I should be able to use the antenna key. It looks like that's the place to use it, which is all well and good, so I'm gonna go ahead and use it. The activation key has been set. Preparations for antenna activation are complete. So, if I'm not mistaken, Regina is using this antenna to radio a chopper. Why don't teams in any games like this ever have radios handy to actually radio the chopper? And it's always one teammate. It's always one teammate that has the radio, and that teammate's either far away from you or dead, and you can't access the radio. I've never understood that. Resident Evil is oh. Okay.
Regina, what happened? The emergency lock on the second floor is just like that.
I'm a bit busy right now. Do something about it.
Don't sweat it. We'll release the lock.
Well, that's always good, isn't it? I'm just gonna go to the other door and hope to God it's not locked. And Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be locked? Alright. I'm just gonna adopt the strategy of whenever he tries to lunge at me, just shoot at him. Hopefully that works. If not, I'll try something else. Oh, that was a relief.
Regina, do you copy?
Finally,
Signal's weak. Interference.
I'll give you the abridged version. Mission complete. Scrub the initial plans and pick us up at the heliport immediately.
The heliport.
This entire island's a bloodbath. The only survivor not on the team is the doctor. I'll give you the details later. Just get back here and pick us up ASAP.
Roger, I'm on my way. Regina, what's the situation?
The chopper's on its way here.
Great. Don't waste any time. And remember, use the main entrance to get to the heliport.
Okay, so that's the front entrance, as was mentioned. Alright, so I'm just gonna make my way to it. It's really not that far away from where I am right now, so it shouldn't be... I shouldn't have too many obstacles blocking me from getting there. So we're gonna go. So yeah, like I said, Resident Evil had exactly the same dilemma where you need to radio for a chopper evacuation, and they have all these like high-tech, like you see the communication device that Regina has on her hand. Actually all the teammates have it. Kind of turns red and green like it's Christmas. But why don't they have a standard radio to kind of to radio the helicopter pilot? Like that I don't get. That should be the most basic thing that they carry on them. I never understood that. It really doesn't make that much sense to me. Except to say it's probably just plot convenience, you know, because if they could radio the chopper, the game would be, what, an hour long? Maybe? Okay, so I just had to check the map to confirm that it was the front area. One of these days I'll have this game memorized and I won't have to do that. This is a clear example. There's a bit of gaming philosophy, if you will, that basically says, and I guess it applies to real life too, if the way you're going, like the path that you're following, has enemies on it, like, you know, you're going from point A to point B and all of a sudden enemies appear on that path, that means you're going in the right direction. And that is a philosophy I live by in real life and as I game. So that pterodon definitely led me to believe that I'm going the right way, which is always an oddly comforting thing. Alright, I know there's an item over there, but I'm really not gonna bother. I think these guys are called velociraptors. I think that's it, and I think they are probably the most common enemy type in the game, the common dinosaur in the game. So what you see here is probably not obvious from this angle, but there's actually a puzzle here where I have to move a bunch of boxes. It's the brown boxes that I have to move in a particular configuration to get from one area to the other. There's no ladder on the other side of that platform, so this puzzle always gets me because I can never remember what the solution is. But before I get into all that, there's actually a grenade launcher on this platform. I was just checking to see what that was. It was nothing. So this is the puzzle. So this is probably the best angle you can see the puzzle with. So there's, as you can see, there's several boxes that you can move. And the funny thing about it is that once Regina starts moving a box, even if you kind of not tap the button but push it a little bit, like your salt and pepper, that she's gonna push it in, you know, an increment of 1 square. It's not like in Resident Evil where you can push a box a little bit and then that's it. So once she starts pushing, it's pretty much, you know, she'll just continue pushing until she stops, you know, whenever she feels like stopping. So you have to be very careful with that. But if you make a mistake, you can always just leave the room and come back and the puzzle resets, which is nice, thankfully. If that wasn't the case, I'd probably game over about 1,000,000 times. Thankfully that's not the case. So I'm just gonna go ahead and mix, because as usual I'm a bit of a hoarder, so I'm always out of space. So I'm just gonna go ahead and see about mixing these 2 darts, see what I get. So let's take a look. Alright, 3 and dart L++, so I'm gonna have to start using those. So I went ahead and skipped ahead, by the way, because I was here for about a good 8 or so minutes, and I just could not figure out what the solution to this puzzle was. But finally, I think I've got it. The trick is that this box, even though it looks like it's really obvious, I should say, that you can run around that box. That's the key to solving the puzzle. So now I'm gonna push this box up. This is what I was mentioning earlier. Regina will push the box in 1 box length increments, if that makes any sense. You'll see what I mean right there. She stopped automatically. So now I'm gonna go ahead and push this box down, and I'm actually going to go ahead and push this box up, or to the right according to our camera angle. And then the last thing is to push that box that's somewhat in the middle up between the 2 other boxes, and then that'll create a clear path. Don't ask me why it took me so long to figure that part out. It's probably very obvious to you guys, but I finally got it. I spared you guys watching me struggle there for a moment. So finally, at long last, we're about to see what on earth is in that heliport. If I could find the door. Yeah, I thought that massive door was it, but it's actually over here. So I'll pick up this item, and I will see you guys in the next video.